We're going to start recording now. So thank you very much, Nicholas, for joining us today. And I believe you're going to lead us in a workshop in activities that we can invite young people to do, especially after they hear a story. Is that correct? Or also before?
No, it will be. I am inviting you all to be part of this workshop. This is a workshop for adults, but I would invite you to join into this presentation, and I'll present it in the way in a likable way that I would to young people or to families. And intergenerational groups. So I invite you to join with us. And we won't only talk about theory, we will practice. All right. So we will engage, we will improvise, we will work together on this story. So to begin, you are all welcome to be. It's wonderful to see you. I know some are not. Their cameras are off. You are welcome to keep your cameras off. Of course, when your camera is off, I will not be able to engage with you, and that's okay. Please know that it is also really nice. I invite you. Some of you may have me right now as a spotlight, but it's also I would invite you to look at the wider screen so that you can see everybody here. Since we're going to be engaging with each other, it's nice to see each other. But that is, of course, your choice. So, well, let us begin. So, an important way that I begin with all my stories is to engage children and families first. And so the question I ask, and I'll ask you, is what have you been listening to? What have you heard in the last few days? Please tell us, what have you heard? What animals, what creatures have you heard?
Birds, my dogs, my
What
cat,
kind of birds?
all kinds. I have a big garden, so I get lots of birds here, and I can identify
What
them.
the birds you have are probably different than the birds I have,
Yes,
because I'm in northern Minnesota. And where are you located?
I'm in Chennai, India.
You're Chennai, India. So, what kind of bird do you hear in
Well, we have mynas here, mynas,
Minas?
mynas. Then we
Lovely.
have babblers. They call the seven sisters because they're always in groups. They even build nests together. They're a community by
Uh-huh.
themselves.
Yes.
And I recently a little baby I rescued because my dog had brought and dropped it near my steps. So I picked her up and brought her into the house. I was wondering how to reunite the baby with the parents. And then we went and left her out in the garden. She started crying immediately. All of them came, started feeding her, and then finally they took her away.
Lovely. So you're hearing these birds. Wonderful. Thank you, Renu. Anyone else? What are you hearing? Yes, Rajesh.
I saw a bull in the bus, and so that image has not gone out at all. I mean, I have been thinking about that bull. How did he get there in the bus?
Wait,
It was a
you
news.
saw a bull in the bus?
Yes, in the bus, and people like passengers were trying to, escape from that bus.
Excellent. So you heard the bull. Excellent. Anybody else?
I've been hearing and seeing a lot of storytellers like I've never before.
Ah, so people. Yes, of course. Of course. One more. Thank you, Anis. So one more. What are you hearing? Jeff the Bard, how about can you tell me what have you heard in the last week? Oh, you're muted still.
Silence.
Oh, all right.
And I'm an introvert. Silence is a sweet sound.
Ah, indeed. Indeed. Thank you, Jeff. So, well, where I live, I'm listening all the time. But this story that I heard is when I was visiting my grandma. Now, my grandma is in Austria, so she's in the center of Europe, and I heard this story from a cow. Yes, indeed, I did hear this story, and I love it. I really enjoy. She said that this story comes from Eastern Europe, somewhere Eastern Europe area, and I really enjoyed it. Would you like to hear this story? Yes?
Yes.
Very good. All right, everyone, take your hands and let's start together like this. Can everyone roll their hands with me? Once upon a time, once upon a time, once upon a time, there was a boy. Now, there was a young boy, but he was a cowherd. He worked in the fields. He took care of the cows. Tell me, what does someone how do you take care of cows? If you work in the cow as a cowherd, what do you do? Someone tell me, how do you take care of the cows?
You take them out to pasture so that they can eat grass.
Exactly, you take them out to pasture. Now, tell me, what kind of work do you have to do when you're taking them out to pasture?
Drive them out to the fields. Yeah.
No, sorry.
Yes, so you have to milk the cows, you have to take care of them. But he did this, but he was very clumsy. As we say sometimes, for those of us who are right-handed, he had two left hands. So two of the same non-dominant hand. And he was so clumsy. He would milk the cow. Everyone, milk the cow for a moment. Milk the cow. Yes, you're milking the cow. And he would get it all over the place. He would tip the bucket over. The milk would fall. Oh, yo, yo. He was so clumsy. And one day he was lying in the fields and he was feeling very, very sorry for himself. And of course, people would laugh at him. They would laugh at him that he was so clumsy. And so he was moping around in the fields, when one day he heard a sound. He heard a sound of a cow. Somebody give me a sound of a cow.
No.
He heard the sound, and then following that sound, he heard, well, you won't get anywhere if you keep moping around. And he looked, and there was a cow nearby, and she was talking to him, and he was surprised. But in his surprise, he said, but what can I do? I am so clumsy. And the cow looked at him and said, well, you need to go to the sun. There, if you go and ask the sun, she will help you. And the boy looked at the sun and at the cow. He said, I don't know how to get to the cow. To the sun? Do you know? And the cow said, no, I don't. But if you head off and you keep courage, I'm sure you will find the sun. And so the boy, he decided to go. And he took off. And he would ask everybody who he knows, do you know how to get to the sun? For example, let's say, Agnieszka, tell us, do you know how to get to the sun? Do you have any ideas? No? No, you don't know. Oh, how about, Eric, do you know how to get to the sun?
Well, you probably go up.
And how would you go up?
Well, a helicopter?
Maybe a helicopter. Perhaps. Now remember, this story is quite a few years old. This may be several hundred years old. And helicopters are hard to find, even today. But a helicopter, that is an idea. Rayesh, do you know how to get to the sun?
Maybe I'll ask a bird to take me there. The big
Maybe a-
bird. Give me a lift.
Do you have birds that are big where you live that might take you there? Which bird do you think?
No, but I have heard magical bird.
Ah,
I
yes,
heard
you could
some
maybe.
stories about magical bird which can come.
Yes, you perhaps could find him. And so he looked all over, but he couldn't find a magic bird. He asked everybody he knew, and everyone said, well, the sun is way up in the sky, of course, but we have no idea how to get there.
But if you go too close, you'll get burned up anyway.
Well, that's a danger as well. Absolutely. Yes, that's true too. But you have to get there first. And so he would ask, and he wandered for a long time, looking for someone. Jeff, do you know how to get to the sun?
No, the sun comes to me.
Well, yes, that's true too. But he had to get closer. He had to get closer.
Ah,
and so
then
Yes.
one writes a note and burns it. And the smoke will carry the message to the sun, and the sun will answer.
Well, that is possible. And so he tried that. And he tried burning his message, and he tried writing it, and he waited. And it's possible that it got maybe somewhere there, but it did not work quite the way. He was still as clumsy as ever. But he did try. It was good advice. Maybe not for him at that moment. But he did try. And so he continued until one day he came across a hermit woman. A woman who was living alone in the forest. She was an older woman. And so, does anyone find a blanket or something? Does anyone have some kind of blanket to find on? Put a shawl around you, like an older woman in a hermit would. Can you find one? Can you find some kind of blanket to put on as a shawl? Yes, very nice, Anis. Yes, wonderful. Wonderful. Renu, yes, very good. Very good. Agnieszka, you already have your shawl on. Excellent. Very nice. Eric, oh yes. Oh, over the head even. Very nice. Very nice. Very good. Oh, and Agnieszka is, very nice, Agnieszka. Very, very good. Very good. And so he asked the old woman hermit. Well, old, she wasn't that old. She was an elder woman. And he said, I'm looking for the sun. Do you know how to find the sun? And she looked at him and she said, no, and I haven't seen anyone in 50 years. And I have no idea how to get to the sun. But if you follow this road up a few days, you will come to my older sister. And she may know how to get to the sun. And so the boy thanked her, and he went off. He went off walking. Everyone, he's walking for a while. He's walking for at least another 2 days until he comes to the older sister's cottage. And he knocks on the door, and she comes out, and she is indeed older than her sister. All right, we need to make her older. Everyone who has, make her a little bit older now. Somehow can you make her older? Very nice, Renu. Very nice. Agnieszka, very good. Yes, very good. Oh, and your mouth is a little bit down. Yes. She's a significantly old. Eric, brilliant. Very nice. Rayesh, do you have? Yes, excellent, Rayesh. Yes, a little bit older. Very nice. Jeff, do you have anything to put on? You got to be the older woman now. Yes. Oh, excellent. Very good. And he asks the older woman, do you know how to get to the sun? And she says, "Oh, my goodness, I haven't seen anybody in 100 years. And I have no idea how to get to the sun. But my older sister, who lives down this road, she may know. She may know. Go and ask her." And so the boy, he walks down, he walks. He's almost beginning to run now. He walks, and he gets to a very, very old little cottage. And he knocks on the door, and there comes the oldest woman he has ever seen in his whole life. Can you make the oldest woman you have ever seen? Yes, much older than before. Yes, as old as you can. Yes, that's it. Oh, Rajesh, excellent. Very, very. Agnieszka, excellent. Yes, she had wrinkles. She had one eye closed. Yes, she was indeed the oldest woman he'd ever seen. And he asked her, "Do you know, grandmother, do you know how to get to the sun?" And she said, the sun. No, I don't. But my friend, the lion in the forest, he may know. But he has a thorn in his paw, and it is hurting him for a very long time. Here, if you take these pliers and find him and take out the thorn from his paw, he might know how to help you. And with that, she gives him the pliers. He says thank you, and he takes off. So, now he begins to climb the mountains. All right, everyone, we need to climb up. Yes, we need to climb the mountains. That's it. If you need a hiking stick or something, very good, Rajesh. Yes, he is climbing the mountains. He is walking in the mountains. That's it. He's walking until he hears a tremendous roar. Who can make a very frightening roar? Who here? Please, somebody. How as frightening as you can. Yes, or you can do them together. Yes, Raish. Yes. Yes, it was a roaring laughter of a lion, and it was tremendous. Yes, Raish. The boy, his knees shook. His whole was shaking. Everyone shake with fear, with absolute fear. And there jumped in front of him the largest, most fearsome looking lion he had ever seen in his whole life. Yes, a pouncing lion. Everyone, let me see the sharpest claws of your lion. Yes, very good. Yes, Raish, that's it. Ferocious Agnieszka. Excellent. Oh, Agnieszka, you have the orange and the red of the lion's mane right here. Yes, absolutely. What a fantastic lion's mane you have. Indeed. And she roared. And he said, "What are you doing here in my kingdom?" And the boy, shaking, he says, Your Majesty, I have come to ease your suffering. And the lion said, How can you do that? And he said, I know there is a thorn in your paw, and if you let me, I would like to take it out. And the lion looks at him and says, Indeed, you want to help me, but if you make it worse, I will tear you apart. And so the lion put out his hand. Everyone, put out your hand. Put out your hand, the lion's hand, with his tremendous claws. And he put them, and the boy held the lion's paw in his hand. Now hold the lion's paw in yours. Excellent. And he took his pliers, and he saw there the thorn, and he pulled, he held on, and he held tight, and he... Oh, you have some pliers, Rayesh! Yes! Yeah! Wait, are those 2 pens? Oh, that's fantastic. All right, we need to do that. Everyone, I'm going to use crayons. Look at this. All right, everyone, can you make pliers like Rayesh has done somehow? Oh my gosh, that's great, Rayesh. Yes, everyone. Oh, yes, Agnieszka, excellent, you have 2 pencils. Renu, you have 2 pencils. Very good. All right, and so let's carefully pull the thorn out. Pull it out. Careful. Get it right. And pull it out. Yes. And the lion roared. Ah! Everybody roar loudly. Ah! Ah! Yes. But the pain, it stopped. The pain stopped. And it didn't hurt anymore. And the lion was overjoyed. He said, "You have helped me. I am so, so grateful. Tell me, what can I give you? I can give you anything you want in the whole world. Gold, jewels, anything. Just tell me, and I will give it to you." What does the boy want? What did he ask for? Someone, tell us, what did he want? Eric, tell us, what did the boy want? What did he ask the lion?
He wanted to go to the sun.
Yes. And the lion said, the sun. Oh, that is very, very different than easy. I do not know how to get there, but I know someone who may. And we will go to them in the morning. Sleep here tonight, and early in the morning we shall take off together. And so the lion took the boy to his cave, and they slept that night, the boy sleeping next to the lion. And in the early, early morning, when it was still dark out, they climbed the mountain. Everyone, we need to climb up, continue to climb further up the mountain, in the dark. So you're looking carefully, and they get to a high mountain lake. Has anyone been in a high mountain lake before? What is it like? Agnieszka, what is a mountain lake like? Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh, it's beautiful. I'm sorry, I couldn't say because I was driving, and I'm still sitting in the car because I don't want to lose the story. So yeah.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad you're in the car.
And green and blue and the white snow is around.
Yes. And
because it's
now
in Tatra Mountains.
Oh, in Tatra Mountains. Yes.
Yes.
Morskie
Oko.
Morskie
This is
Oko.
it. Yes.
This is it.
Oh.
Yes. I have seen that lake with you.
Yeah. Wow. I pictured. You sure this Morskie now? Blue. Yes.
Oh, yes. That's right. And so they came to this, but it was dark. They came to the cold, and is it cold, Agnieszka, these lakes?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever swam in them before?
No, you can't.
You can't swim.
In this story you can. Yeah, here you can swim. Yes, let's go.
In this one you can. Is
Yeah,
it cold?
We are rebels, and it's super cold.
It's super cold, right?
Yes.
It's ice water, basically, even colder than ice water. Yes! And so they came to this mountain lake. It was dark, but the water was still. It was as still as a mirror. But then the wind began to come. The wind began to blow. Everyone, blow the wind just a little bit. And the waves began to grow. The waves began to grow, and they grew larger and larger until the wind came and there were waves everywhere. And then, out of the middle, it was beginning to dawn, but the sun had not risen yet, so you could see just the early light blue. And there, rising out of the water, was a great dragon. A great dragon rose out of the water. And she rose up and she stood there in the middle of the lake. And the lion called out to the dragon. Dragon, my friend. Everyone try that with me. Dragon, my friend.
Dragon!
Dragon, I have.
Dragon!
I have helped you before. I need a favor. And this young boy, this young man, he needs to go to the sun. Can you help him? And the dragon, in a deep voice, she said, yes, I can. Come over through the water and climb on my back, and I will take him there. And so, now, if you were that boy or that girl, who would swim in that cold water to climb on the dragon? Who would? Raise your hand if you would do that. Renu, yes? Rayesh, you would? Yes? Agnieszka, you would? Even in the cold water?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You would. No fear?
No!
Or how much fear?
A little.
A little? Like this much? A little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Rayesh, would you have fear?
I have a fear whether I'll drown or not because I don't know swimming, but I will trust my friend Tiger.
Yes. Yes. So even he didn't even know how to swim. And he was afraid of the dragon also. That's a double fear. Oh my. But how about you, Eric?
Well, when the monkey rode on the crocodile, the monkey almost got in trouble.
So tell us, would you be like the monkey or not like the monkey?
I learned from that story that you shouldn't ride on the back of a dangerous creature.
Ah, so you would stand at the edge of the water. Is that right, Eric?
Well, maybe I could swim along with the dragon.
So you would swim but not climb up the dragon. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, yes.
Ah, uh-huh. Well, that is an option. That is an option. Agnieszka and I can tell you that that's no fun. Not really. Not in the dawn, early morning, quite, right, Agnieszka? I don't think we would swim just for fun in the mountain lake, right?
But when you
But we are
swim,
super curious.
when you swim
Yes.
hard, you get warmer because you swim.
Eric, I tried. Really? No. Don't.
If you're going to swim in cold water, which I have, you have to have intention and resolve. Yes, but there is a goal. Somehow there's a goal, but yes. But yes, well, maybe, yes, Eric. So he stood there and he was afraid, but he jumped in. He waded into the water. He waded. The water came up. The water came all the way up. It came on, and he had to swim. He had to swim, even though he couldn't swim very well. Rayesh, everyone, you have to swim through the water. He had to come. He swam as best as he could. He was flapping. There was splashing all over. And he got to the dragon. He climbed up the dragon. He climbed up and he held on to the dragon right underneath the wings, on top of the wings. And the dragon said, hold on. And the dragon began to flap her wings. Everyone flap her wings like a great dragon. Flapping, flapping. And as she began to flap, she rose up into the sky, and the sun was just beginning to dawn, the sun in the sky, and they flew high up into the air. That's it. Big, everyone, big, big, huge. These are much bigger than bird wings. Huge flappings of wings. Renu, perfect. Yes, absolutely. And they flew through the sky. They flew all the way to the sun. And when they got near the sun, the dragon said, now, boy, now is your chance. Talk to the sun. And the boy said, son, I am so clumsy. I need some help to be myself, to be less clumsy so that people don't laugh at me. And the son said to him quietly, boy, reach out your hands. Reach out your hands. And so he reached out. Everyone, reach out your hands to the sun. Everybody, reach them out all the way. That's it. Reach them out. And as he reached out, he felt the warmth of the sun coming in. The warmth of the sun going deep into him. And he began to feel the warmth. And he began to feel so much better. And the dragon said, that's enough. That's enough, or else you'll burn. That's enough. And so the boy pulled back his arms, and he held on to the dragon. And as they were going, the son, he said, thank you. And the son said to him, now go back to your people. Go back and be in service to them and help them. And so he held on to the dragon as the dragon flew him back down to the ground, flew him. And he came back, and there he met the lion again. And he said thank you to the lion. And the lion brought him back down the mountain. And he went back to the 3 older sisters. And he thanked each of them. And he walked all the way back to his home. And he met his family again. And he lived a good and contented and full life. And of course, he also befriended that cow who told him how to begin that journey. And he became friends with that cow for the rest of her life. And to celebrate when he got back, of course, to celebrate. Now, if you come back and you celebrate, what do you need for a celebration? Tell me, what do you need?
Party.
You need a party, yes. And how do you make a good party?
Dancing.
Music and dancing, absolutely. And so he got some musicians and he celebrated with his family and his friends and everybody. This is what we're going to do. We are going to have a celebration with the boy and the cow and his family. And what we're going to do is, I have some music, and we're going to dance to this music. Then this is how we'll do it. You're going to follow I invite you to follow my dance moves first. And then I will call on you to change the dance, and we will follow that person. Are you ready? Yes! So, where is it? Here's my music. Are you ready, everybody, to celebrate with the boy who came back from the sun? Oh, what's happening? What's happening? Here we are. Oh, I'm having a technical difficulty. This was not... All right. I don't know what happened. See, I had recorded because Eric had asked for non-copyright music, so I recorded from the record player music, and now it's not showing.
Play any music. Play any music.
You know what? I'll have to play something else because it's not working. So I have to find. Well, this is not was not in the plan. It was ready. Oh,
Okay.
You can
maybe
make a music. You can make
Play
a
the
music.
music you played the other day.
yeah, I have music. I have music. Here it is. Here it is. I think this is it. All right. All right. Are you ready, everybody? All right. So, you're going to follow my dance moves now. Are you ready? So you can stand up or you can stay in your chair. Either way. All right. Everyone, hands like this to the sides. Good. Yes. Good. All right. Agnieszka, change the dance, Agnieszka. Yes. Good. Rajesh, your turn. Change the dance, Rajesh. Good. Renu, your turn. Change the dance, Renu. Good, yes! Very nice! Mona, your turn! Yeah, yes! Good! Nice! Eric, your turn! Change your dance! Good! Eileen, your turn! Change your dance! Oh, that's... Oh, because of this technology issue, I can't... Oh, wait, we're freezing! Freeze! Okay! Agnieszka, your turn! Your turn, yes, change! Are you fine? Good! Nice! Jeff, your turn! Change it up, Jeff! No, can you shake your shoulders? No! Okay! Raish, your turn! Change it up! Yes! Good! Nice! Excellent. Okay. And so they danced and they celebrated. The boys return from the sun with the help, of course, of the cow and the 3 elder sisters and the lion and the dragon. And this story I heard from one of the cows, the descendants of one of those old cows from many, many hundreds of years ago. The cows have been telling each other this story for a very, very long time. And now I have been able to tell it to you. So, what I invite you to do now is we are going to take some time to draw what did you hear in this story. All right? So we're just going to, anyone can draw whatever part of the story you liked or that you remember the best or was most important to you. I invite you to draw it. You don't have to think of yourself as a great drawer to do this. Stick people are fine. Just encourage you. And this is also, remember, this is a workshop for how to be working with children. So this is something you can invite your communities, but it's important that we model it so that we can engage further with the story, right? And the drawing gives everybody, not just children, it gives all of us opportunity to sit quietly with the story and to process it by yourself through your own eyes, through your own heart. And we'll take some time to do that. They don't have to be perfect, but it is important to put something down. And then, after we take some time, I'm going to invite you, those who would like to share, to share your drawing with us and to talk about it. And I invite you to do that. But we'll take some time now to draw. You can use pencils, you can use pens, markers. I prefer crayons because they're so easy and colorful and useful. But you can use whatever you like. All right? And I'm going to do that right here.
How much time do we get for drawing?
How about we take about 10 minutes?
Nah, I think that's too long. Maybe 5.
Okay, let's take 5. Typically, because of the workshop, typically we can take 5. But for groups, for working with people, I always give them at least 15 minutes.
Really?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you will be amazed by that 15 minutes is often not enough time. And if someone is done early and they're done and you think, and you look and you're like, you can tell that they're not done. All you can say is, the world is full of color. Add more color to your drawing. This is the invitation to sink deeper into listening to the story by not listening to the storyteller, but to listen to their own imagination. And so this process of drawing is important reflection. And so we'll take a little less time. But
No, as you like. Take as many
no,
minutes as you like.
we'll just take some time, but it's good to have some, and some people may sit for a few moments and not feel they want to. And then after maybe a few minutes, they'll try to do something. So it's nice to give time, right? Like Cole, a great musician, has said, the beauty in music and the importance of music is the silence between the notes, right? And so as a storyteller, as storytellers, we can easily talk the whole time And we can forget, as Jeff reminded us, the importance of silence. And silence is crucially important to storytelling as well. And a way we can hold silence collectively and not get too uncomfortable, because you can't, I mean, most people have a hard time being silent, myself for sure. I can manage about 1 minute before I start getting antsy, maybe even 30 seconds, right? But drawing is a good way, an acceptable, safe way to be in silence together, to process individually, and then to come back to the collective, to come back to the group and retell the story. Because that's the goal, right? If we want people to remember a story, it is not enough that they hear the story. It is important they have an opportunity to retell the story. This is old teaching. It's not mine, but it's what my elder mentors, storytellers taught me, was that they would tell me the story and then expect me to tell it back to them, right? And by drawing it, we are retelling it to ourselves, and then that will help us retell the story, even just a part of it, okay? So that's the invitation. How about 1 more minute to finish up? 1 more minute.
I'm done, Nicholas.
All right. Yeah, we'll take 1 more minute for us all to finish. Okay, I think we're close. It's all right if you're not finished, but you can see how this could take longer. All right, it could take as long as you want it to take, right? But giving time, I find, is very important. So, would anyone like to volunteer to share their picture and talk about it? Super. So this is what I'm going to do, and this I'm also modeling to you if you want to try this with Zoom technology. So an important part, and I'm not sure I mentioned that at the introduction, is we're exploring how we can use Zoom creatively, more creatively, right? So we're using possibility. We're trying things like dancing on Zoom. How can we do that? And now we're going to try how can we draw and show it in effective ways. So what I do now is and Raish, perfect. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to spotlight. One moment, Raish. I'll spotlight myself, and then I will spotlight Raish so that we can see the drawing better. All right. Yes, Raish. I'd love, please. Oh, your blur a thing. Oh, there it is. There it is. Perfect. Yes. Ooh, tell us about your drawing.
So here I have a dragon and the boy and the tiger. It's early morning, so they have already discussed about going to the sun, and dragon is ready to take off, and the boy will go on that journey to
Yes. And there is the dragon is in the water, still submerged in the water. Yes. And the sun is slowly rising. You have the sun right there in the corner. Beautiful. Yes. And the tiger right there talking. My goodness. And how huge the dragon is. Enormous. Wow. Excellent, Raish.
So that is it.
Nice. So he would have to swim a little ways to get to him, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yes. Anything else you'd like to say about your drawing?
No, I have done this drawing after really, really long time. I mean, I maybe when I was in school or and then I had tried. So maybe after 30, 35, 40 years, yeah, that many years.
Are
So
are you saying the last time you drew a dragon was 35 years ago, or you've been drawing dragons for 35
no, no,
years?
no. I last time I draw something
Yes.
was something 35 years ago, maybe.
Yes. Do you mind my asking, how did it feel to draw right now?
Actually, I was thinking the because I do not have practice and I was feeling childish. I mean, my lines are not that great, so I do not have control. And then the figures, the boy, the tiger, it's not coming well. The way I used to do. So I was feeling bit, I mean, awkward. I mean, should I show this drawing or not? But in any way, I mean, I just did it.
Well, thank you very much for drawing in the first place and for showing us your drawing. Drawing is something that they say a lot of people are shut down to when we're drawing, and we're told that it's childish. Drawing is not childish at all. The great artists, I mean, will affirm this, and so to give permission and for you to be able to share is really beautiful and allows us to see your perspective into the story, right?
And yes, I was thinking again, and then yeah, there was another thing happened is the way I get distracted nowadays by so many things, but because of this deadline and this, my mind didn't go anywhere at all. I mean, my whole focus was here to get the dragon on paper, the boy on paper, the tiger on paper. So
Yes.
yeah, so it was, yeah, great feeling. I mean, the way I used to focus when I was child. Sort of meditation.
Excellent. A sort of meditation. Yes. Excellent. Wonderful. Well, thank you, Raish, very much. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. You clearly have this love and talent for drawing, and it's very, very obvious. So thank you for sharing that with us very much. Thank you. All right. Who would like to share? Renu, yes. We have the fog. It's the fog situation. You might have to come with your face also closer, or turn the fog off if you're willing to do that.
How is that?
No, keep the picture very close to
Just
your
hold
face.
it there
Go
and let
back
it be steady. Hold it steady. No, come closer. Come closer. Yeah, give the camera time to adjust.
No, what I did was I kept picture down here with the face. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Body. Yeah.
Very nice. Yes, wonderful, Renu. Tell us, please, tell us about your drawing.
Well, I decided to stick drawings.
Yes.
I've always considered myself not a very good artist. I love to draw, but I find that my daughters draw much better than me. So I have drawn the entire story, starting
Yes.
with the cow telling the boy what he needs to do, and then the boy meets the three sisters. And I've tried to show how increasingly older they get.
Yes, now let's see. The first sister is standing.
Yeah.
The second sister has a cane. Yes.
And the third sister is bent over with one hand on her back.
Yes. Yes.
And then he goes to the lion and then removes the thorn, the lion's paw. And then
Yes.
he goes on to meet the dragon. The dragon is not inside the water. And he's sitting on the dragon's back and flying towards the sun. And the sun finally helps him.
Yes.
I haven't shown his return journey.
Excellent. Excellent. you did not only one scene, you did the whole story, right?
I love the story.
Ah, excellent.
Because,
And
Nicholas, what I really liked about the story is that most of the characters are female, starting with the cow and then three women. The dragon also you refer to as she. And I think at one point you refer to the lion as a she, though lion is normally male. If you had said lioness, it would have made more sense. But I think you just like to use this gender here. And even the son, I suppose, most of us say he, but you said she. It's something I love because I think gender neutral to show that gender roles can be different, the gender that women can also be equally powerful. I think it's a fantastic thing, especially when it's coming from a storyteller. And I still
yes.
remember the story you shared last year. I think I wrote an email to you and you wrote one long back to me, which I really appreciate, telling me the original story. And I love that story too, because you said originally it was the princess who was kidnapped, and then it becomes a beautiful singing bird. You did not kill the dragon. You made the children sing to the dragon. I just absolutely love that story because it appealed so much to my own values. I
Yes.
love gender. I love animals. I'll never harm them. So all my stories also go around like this. So I
Yes.
absolutely love you, Nicholas.
Thank you. I'll catch it. I'll catch it. Thank you. Renu, I want to affirm and amplify what you said about gender issues. That is important, in my opinion, as well. And I do make changes as needed. Right? It's full disclosure. The way I received this story was three old men.
I thought as much.
Okay. All right. Now, and so I changed it, but I did not change it only out of gender consciousness, which is good enough, but not entirely. If you read enough stories, you will find that this story is the same told with three women. So we can do both. We can be gender conscious and proactive in these roles because it's a powerful role as a storyteller, and we can be historically conscious to recognize that sometimes there are three men and sometimes there are three women, right? Also with the son. Now, in English, the son is masculine. Well, not actually in English. It's the son, which has no gender in English. But in Roman languages, el sol, the sun is masculine, right? And the image of the sun is Apollonian, right? So it's masculine. But in German, it is die Sonne. Die Sonne, which is feminine, right? So the genders of animate objects and inanimate objects changes from culture to culture. Agnieszka, I cannot.
In India,
yes.
it's male, Nicholas. In India,
What?
it is male.
It is what?
It is male, a man.
It is male in India.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
in
that's
Poland, in Polish language, this is to słońce, so this is no gender, actually.
it's a non-gender in Polish.
That's also interesting. Yeah.
Słońce.
Okay, I
So-
tend to switch. Yes.
Yes.
So this is
So
the story. Okay.
Oh, Agnieszka, so one moment. So thank you, Renu, very much for that. Agnieszka, we're going to come to you next. Thank you, Renu, for raising those issues. They're very important. And I want to be part of that dialogue for many reasons. It's important that we all be able to see ourselves. And it's true, a lot of the stories that we have inherited come out of a patriarchy. But we know that there was an older matriarchy before that. So we don't have all the answers, but we can expand and we can find ways to balance them in some way. And I think that's important. And it's an important role that us storytellers can be aware of and do what we can. Not everyone, and some are hard to do that, but in moments where it works, I think it's an important practice.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Renu, for sharing and for your drawing and for sharing that with us.
Thank
Much appreciated. Thank you. Agnieszka, thank you. Yes, would you please? We'd love to if you'd share your drawing with us.
Yeah, I will share, but I want to say that's amazing to see all the drawings that comes from people who are not having,
Yes.
not thinking they don't have they think they
Yes.
don't have the skills or no, they don't practice. So thank you so much for sharing and to see the
Yes.
illustration because they are so much real. They
They
are very,
are.
they are not fake. They
Yes.
are as they are. Exactly. They are very, honest. And this is what I
Yes.
like the most. Yes.
Absolutely. The
So
drawing
I
is
love
honest.
yeah. Yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes.
I
And yeah.
agree.
So this is the drawing. Yeah, I'm illustrating the story. So that was the way I used to make it. Usually, I just
Uh-huh.
drew the cow, the sun. Jeff said the sun should be close, so it is very, very close. It's going down right
Yes.
now. The boy is a question mark because he doesn't know what to do. He's in this, stage of not knowing yet. And
Hmm.
then he's making this journey through all these three women and one man and one woman saying about the lion, and you can see
Yes.
the paw of the lion, and then this is the lake. It's cold, and the boy is going into this journey on the dragon. But as Eric said, he would not go on the back of the dragon, so I made him like in the alpinistic way to secure him and to just go by his ropes. There were ropes connected to the
Yes.
pouch of the dragon, and
Yes.
and they reach the sun, the shines, the rise of the rays of the sun is they are
Mhm.
hot and hot and they are warming the body of the boy, and then he comes down. They are playing djembe, they are playing music, they are playing having party, and this is
Yes.
the cow happy among all the village. And yeah, the boy made his journey. Now he's supportive for the whole community. So yeah.
Yes.
So then, yeah, that's it.
Beautiful.
Thank you. For me, this is
Agnieszka,
very,
you have not only are your drawings lovely, but you have just retold us the whole
yeah.
story.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
thank
now,
you.
yeah. And so it's so to be able to hear the story again, right?
Mhm.
As you've just
Yeah,
told, right? But if I were to ask you, Agnieszka,
yes,
please, can you retell me the story? You might
yes,
be, "Oh, how?
yeah.
Where? You know?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So this is like a map, so you
It's a
can
map.
follow from the beginning to the end, and it's a map, and you know exactly how to follow, from the
Exactly.
beginning, later the end. Yeah, so this is very, very helpful.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm usually illustrating stories just to give people possibility to tell it later to they, to bear the story to the world.
Exactly. Exactly. And it is good note
Yeah.
taking, right? So
Yes.
and it's a well-known practice to have a storyboard to remember
Yes.
stories, right? You don't have, and
Mhm.
historically we know that that was before the written text, right? Is that stories were
Mhm.
recorded
Mhm.
through images, right? Even our
Yes.
letters, even our writing, the ancestor of our text comes from pictures. That is well documented all over the world,
Mhm.
from Chinese calligraphy to Latin letters, all over. And so you now have not only drawings, but you have a memory of that story. So next year you can pick up that story, and it will help you remember this story,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yes, yes. And this is also the question for you as a storyteller. Can
Exactly.
I use this story because I
Exactly.
would like to share with others, but I need
Exactly.
your permission.
Well, yes, I mean, I received it from, okay, so that's a good question. I told you, who did I tell you I learned this story from?
Grandma in Austria.
No, I was visiting my grandma in Austria, and while I was there, the cow!
How?
So, yes, the cow. Now, this is an adult workshop, right? Why do you think I said the cow? And this, you know what? I'm going to open this up to the group for a moment. Why do you think I said that I learned this story from a cow instead of, which you can all know, I learned the story from Helmut Wittmann, a tremendous storyteller in Austria, who I know and have befriended, and I read his books, and this story is in his book. Now, why did I tell you that I learned this story from a cow instead of that I learned this story from Helmut Wittmann? Why do you think I did that? What's
So
the
that we
use?
can- So that we can take the story forward by sharing it?
That's one answer. Yeah, there could be other answers. What do you think?
Because
Tweaking
your
it,
target
changing it.
audience was
Oh, how about Priyanka?
yeah, hi Nicholas. I think over here your target audience is children. So that's why instead of bombarding them with information, cow is much more a relatable character. That's why perhaps.
That's one. Yep, excellent. Eileen.
You're suggesting that the cow would be sentient?
Another excellent reason. Excellent reason. Which they actually are, right? There are millions of stories where the animals talk, and there is a lesson in that, right?
Yeah.
So yes, sentient being, absolutely. Another excellent reason. Does someone else have another reason? There are many.
Can I share one?
Yes, Mona, what was that?
Maybe because you have tweaked the story as per your perceptions and your beliefs.
That's an option, yes. One more, and then I'll tell you one more. Anyone else have an idea? All right, I'll answer this. Another reason, all those reasons apply. Another reason is I learned this technique from adults telling adults. This is not only for children. Because you can go and talk and find out this, and sometimes it's appropriate, of course, to tell where the story comes from. Absolutely, right? Sometimes that can be done afterwards, though. But this technique of telling that the story comes from another creature is a beautiful way of reducing the ego, right? Because the story is certainly older than Helmut Wittmann, who told me the story. So Helmut Wittmann I give credit to him, but he doesn't get all the credit. He gets part of the credit. And we don't know exactly where this story comes from. And we know that stories change. And if we really were to follow the origin of this story, we may go back thousands of years, right? So an honorable way and an authentic way, and to get ourselves out of the ego of this is his story, especially if it's a folk tale, a fairy tale. This is a beautiful technique I learned from other professional storytellers telling adults. And it also allows us a deeper access to the story. Now, there are times where it is appropriate to say, especially if it's a personal story, that this story was told to me by this person. But I found that especially in folktales, that's not necessary. So that's some part of possibilities. You're welcome to take that. We have just about 5 more minutes. Thank you for all the drawings so far that have happened. Is there anyone else who would like to share their drawing? Eric, yes.
I'll share my drawing and then I want to say a couple of words. Here, I'm going to do a screen share. There's my drawing.
Oh, excellent. Yes, tell us about it, please, Eric.
Well, it's just the boy in front of the sun, and I wanted to make the sun really, really big,
Mm-hmm.
and the boy really small.
Yes.
And then under the boy, I forget exactly what characters helped him, but I know
Uh-huh.
there was a cow or a lion or a tiger or a dragon, maybe three
Yes.
sisters. So they're sort of supporting him, or he's
Yes.
standing on their shoulders.
Yes. Oh my goodness, he's standing on all of their shoulders.
Hmm.
Indeed. Beautiful, Eric.
Thank you.
That is right. Awesome. 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 And that is, Eric, you have just brought a beautiful, and I think we're going to wrap that up with that thing. We do, these stories are, we do stand on the shoulders of our ancestors, right? And the three old women or the three old men, either way you want to do that, they are the symbols of the ancestors, right? And it's important that the lion talks. And it's important that the dragon talks because, as Eileen said, yes, they are sentient beings. And if we look into other traditions, we will find, I was reminded of this by Dakota elders, right? Who speak in terms of all my relations, right? So the rocks are my relations, the birds are my relations. But they reminded me, and it's beautiful, beautiful concept, but it is not exclusive to Dakota and Native people. If we look in my own European ancestry, we'll find tremendous teachers like Francis of Assisi, who also refers to the sun as not just the sun, but as brother sun, right? And sister water, and brother fire. And so by just changing that, you have turned an inanimate thing, which has very little relationship to us, into a relational language. And that is crucially very important, especially as storytellers, where that lesson is important. I think that's important, increasingly important, and and we have our elders that are modeling that. And so I am reminded of that, and we can very gently, by animating the animals or by speaking about them in this way, it helps. So,
Well, now I
Eric,
just want to ask you, or I want to thank you. It's been such a wonderful workshop, and you've said a lot of very interesting things. Now, to get analytical for a second, you demonstrated interactivity in storytelling by inviting us to help act out the characters, and now you've invited us to draw the story. Do you want to mention any other activities that you do? We don't really have time for a full demonstration of any other activities, but do you want to mention anything else? Do you do anything with role playing, for example?
oh, absolutely. I mean, and I love using Zoom, but in person it's beautiful, right? We can do role playing, and I invite people to role play, especially young people, right? They're happy to role play.
So what do you do, for example? Like, I've been in situations where the listeners are invited to ask the storyteller, can we talk to one of the characters in the story? And the storyteller says yes, and then the storyteller speaks on behalf of a character as the listeners kind of ask questions.
Absolutely.
That's one activity, right?
Absolutely. Yes, yes. And so we actually did some role playing today, right? We played the role of the boy, or we played different roles, right? And not many, but a few, just a few, right?
As
What
you were
would you
telling
do
the
in this?
story, we played the role.
As we were telling the story, we were role playing slightly. Now, if you expand that, it is important to de-roll. That is important. In this case, it was not that important, but that's important, especially when you take on violence. That's very important, or grandiosity, right? But we can actually model it now, and I was taught this by others. Like, if you do role play the dragon or the lion, you can then de-roll and say, well, I'm Nicholas, I'm not the lion. But to remember well, we can identify with all the characters in the story, every single one of them. From the old women, I have the old woman in me too, right? Because we stand on the backs of them. And I have the dragon in me too. And I have the cow in me too, right? And I have the boy in me too, right? So this is very important, and I'll just share just to model, right? It's important that I, as the storyteller, do not ask you to do something that I would not do myself, right? This is why I'm showing you my picture. Just that you can see I asked you to draw, and I am willing to do the same thing, right? And I have a drawing as well. So, I thank you all. It is 10 o'clock here in Minnesota. I'm very grateful for you all being here. You are, if ever you're interested in further conversation, Reno, I know, took that opportunity. You are welcome to reach me at my foundation website at storytablefoundation.org. I am happy to talk with you. I do public storytelling events. And if there's interest for a time that's more appropriate for India, I'm happy to work with you to do that. But I think that we can use Zoom beautifully and creatively internationally like we are here. So thank you very, very much, Eric, for putting together this beautiful collection of all these people and of so many storytellers.
Thank you. And
thank you very
I
much,
feel
Eric.
we've just scratched the surface of your expertise in this field. So we'll look forward to more communication.
Excellent. Thank you very much, everybody.
Great. Okay, I'm gonna.
Oh, you know what? We'll close. We forgot to close. We'll close. Everyone, put your hands out. We're going to close this story appropriately. So we're going to give a breath of thanks to the story itself. All right, because the story is very old. And we're going to give a breath to all the ancestors who have carried this story, including the cow who told it to me. And we'll give a breath to each other, just the way you are. Are you ready? On the count of 3, let's give a breath of thanks. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, everybody. See you later.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody come back tomorrow and the whole weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.